What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Bill with EvilleTruck, and today we're cleaning up the garage a little bit. We're actually, well, we might touch the Bronco a bit, but one thing I wouldn't do is try to get clear some space up in here. And I have one of these racks up here, just mounts to the ceiling, and you could stick stuff there out of the way. I was looking for some other options, and I was looking at these like ceiling storage lifts. Basically, it's like that, but you can raise and lower it. So a couple of things occurred to me. If I had that, it makes it much easier to load stuff on there if you can bring it down. If I want to get to there's some stuff stored in the back corner of that thing over there, where if I want to get to it, I have to clear all that stuff out of there. So if I moved it somewhere where I had better access, that would be better. But then also if I could just lower it down for anything heavy, that would also be great. And then the other thing I was curious about is, well, I have this hoist right here that I use to remove the hardtop. It works great, you know, but bring it down, put some straps around the top and lift it up. The only downfall to that is, since it's just the one central point, if it's not perfectly centered, it'll start twirling and spinning around and just kind of get all cattywampus hanging there. So then when you take it off, it's, you know, it'll turn, and then you got to get it lined up, which is really kind of a pain when it's just you. If you have somebody that can hold the top in the right position while you back in, it's not too bad. But if you're trying to get it lined up, which normally, you know, that's the old purpose of having the lift, is so you could do it by yourself and you don't need to and it's kind of hard to, you know, you have to keep the door open, run out, spin the top back a little extra, so that by the time you get back in the car and start backing up, it'll line up and hopefully not scratch too much up. So I was thinking, well, if this has 4 points, it can't really twist. I was like, maybe that's an extra added benefit that we can get out of this is, well, not only can we store some stuff, but it could be something, back the Bronco in, throw like a moving blanket or something on top and just lower it down. So this is sitting on top, and hook some straps up to it and then lift it back off. And then it's in one spot. It's not going to twist. It's not going to move around. And it's secured by more than just one point, which would make me feel a little more comfortable. So as you can see from the intro, it will work for that as well. So we're gonna go ahead now, for full transparency, this is something that FLEXIMOUNTS sent out to me. They said I was actually looking at things like this, and I get a ton of emails that are like, hey, you love your content, would you be interested in doing a video for this? And then I'll look, and it's obvious that they've never seen any video that I've ever done, because they would know that, I don't know, women's blouses isn't really something that I could pull off telling you guys about. I could tell you all about it, but you're not going to care. I'm not going to care. So I turn a lot of things down. It is funny because they're like, oh yeah, we love your content, and they'll try to butter you up, and then you look at what they're trying to get you to offer, or it'll be some, you know, crypto thing or some who knows what. And so yeah, normally I just say no. I was actually looking at these, and then FLEXIMOUNTS actually reached out to me and sent me one of those emails that I almost didn't even read, because as soon as I started reading, it's like, oh, okay. But then I saw what it was, and I was like, oh, actually, yes, I am very interested in that. It's like, so hopefully, yeah, I was like, yes, I'm interested, and I'll tell you the same thing you tell everybody else. Before you send me anything, I will do an honest review on it. If it's garbage, I will let people know that it's garbage. You'll notice that most of the time I do reviews, it ends up being fairly positive, and that's because I do tell people ahead of time that that's the case, and companies that don't fully stand behind their products end up not sending things. But companies that like, oh yeah, well, no problem, we appreciate that, that's what we want honest feedback, those are the companies that I like working with, and they're the ones that actually are, you know, that are confident enough in their products that they're like, yeah, absolutely, we'll go ahead and send it out. So I said this holds up to 300 pounds of weight. That hardtop, I double checked. I think the back shell is it's either 60 or 80 pounds depending. So in that frame, so still have plenty more weight that we can put on here. So now let's go ahead and get this open, see what all's inside, and see what is involved with getting this installed. Alright, so what do we got here? We got different hardware bags. Some mount. Hand crank. Pulleys. They even give you a roll of tape. Installation guide, that's always helpful. So, looks like the main piece is this bar here. It has mounts, all the cabling and everything run to it. Then the bar. And even comes with an installation template. Lay that out. I guess that's why they included the tape, so you can actually tape that up to the ceiling. Now, it said it will work with 12, as long as your rafters are spaced at 12, 16, or 24. I did double check, and these are 24. But I should have no problem with installation. And then we'll see what else we got here. And it just looks like the actual frame for the bottom. So far everything looks pretty good. Looks pretty well made, packaged nicely, and seems pretty well laid out, pretty thought out for the fact that they give the installation template and tape and everything to put up there. I very much like. Let me get this mess cleaned up a little bit, read through the instructions, make sure I understand everything that's involved, and then we'll get started with putting this up. Alright, so we got the template up on the ceiling. It actually worked out pretty good because I thought for sure I was going to have to reposition these lights or do something. But it looks like I put those up there knowing that this was going to be installed. And you'll notice this is forward a bit from where I had my hoist at originally, and that is because I also realized that that was way too far back when I did, because like that it left maybe barely enough room for this table to fit in. So if you open the back of the hood or anything, it was problematic. So it definitely needed to be shifted forward anyway. And so I'm going to go ahead, and if I shift it forward, it lines perfectly up with how the lights are, and measured everything out. There's still plenty of room to fit the Bronco in and get the door shut if it's positioned right here to where it's directly under this. So should work good. I got the template up there like I said. The next thing I got to do is put these brackets up, and just these lag bolts, this bracket, and the 13mm socket it looks like. And then this bracket it fits perfectly into the template here. Alright, I know you're right next to the light, so yeah, like the template's got a little cutout, so it fits perfectly in there. And then you just put your lag bolts in, and you want to make sure that you are on one of the rafters, which is part of getting the template lined up. So yeah, that should be right on the rafter. Put 3 lag bolts in there. then do the same on the other side.
Alright, so then next we're going to use these pulleys and 4 more lag bolts. We got 2 holes on each side, and they're just going to go back here where cut out for the template is. So let's line up like so in the template. Seems like I might have been off a little bit with the template. It might be because I'm going through this board. I can still do it side to side, but it was a little, it's like right on the edge of the, right up, like if I put it forward where it completely lined up, it was right on the edge of the joist, and I could hear it cracking and splitting a bit, so move it back a little bit, make sure we're centered. And drive all these bolts in. And probably best not to use a impact either, so you don't strip these bolts out. Just try to be careful. I got that. Just do the other one on the other side, and we'll have all the mounts up there. All right, so all the mounts are on. Remove the template. Now, next thing is to put this bar across. If I were to do this fresh and I didn't have the lights, I would probably have done it with it flipped around so the bar was in the back. That way, if I am using it for a lift for the Bronco top, the controls and everything are back here. But instead, the way to get it to work with the light, the bar's got to go up there. I don't think it'll be a big problem, but we'll see. And by the bar, I'm talking about this bar here. You see, it slides out. So we're going to expand it. And then we're going to set the ends into those brackets that we just installed up there. Do that. It should just slide in there. And so yeah, that slides in there. And then there's mounting bolts right there. We'll just put 2 bolts in on each side. I don't know if you can see that with the light right there, but it's just 2 bolts on each side that are going to mount those mounts inside that. And we'll have that done. So let me go ahead and get those bolts in there and we'll go from there. All right, so just one thing. Apparently I installed this bar backwards. Just double checked in the instructions, and there is a specific way. So if this is the way brackets are facing, then this corner here that's got the bracket or the connection for raising and lowering it should be on that corner over there. So I actually have to take that down and flip the bar around. So that is over there on this corner. So it's should be aligned with this pulley, where if the bar is on the back, then it should be on that side facing that way. So let me go ahead, swap that bar around,
and then we should be good to continue on. Yeah, there's just these little Allen bolts that'll go in. We'll tighten those down to keep this piece from slipping out. And then there's also going to be these bolts. And then there's holes on each side. If you're not seeing the holes, you may have to adjust this bar a little bit to make sure it's equal, but there should be a hole on this side, a hole on that side. Let's put I'll go pick that up. I'll put a nut on there on both sides. That'll keep it from sliding around, and then we'll tighten those bolts and we'll be done up here. All right, now you can see we've got 2 sets of cables on each side. Now, ones that are going to stay in the front, the ones that are going to run to the back, and you just tell by which one's longer or got the most. I'll go ahead and cut these bags open, that way we can kind of compare, and you'll see one's got to go to the back and down, and ones will just drop straight down. Let me go ahead, unbag these, and show you that. So yeah, here we've got the shorter one, which will be in the front, and then we've got the longer one. And we want to run that, make sure the black stays on the outside, the silver on the inside, and then we'll feed it through the pulley. Make sure that's not tangled up. Yeah, that shows you how low that you can lower it down, especially if you're older or a little bit limited, have some mobility limitations. Loading something this low is a whole lot easier than loading something there. And loading or unloading, as I said, you could put up to 300 pounds on it. So yeah, I could see where this would be super helpful, just to be able to load and unload without having to pull out a ladder or worry about balance or anything like that, and then crank it up and get it out of the way. But go ahead, get the rest of it assembled, and we'll see how well it works. All right, so then next, this comes already attached, just got to fold it out. It's going to sit on these bars, and you want to, like, this and this will go in these end holes, so you want to make sure that those are exposed. I'm going to leave the same amount of space, and then the rest of these holes here will get these fasteners. Now the hardware comes very neatly organized, so each step along the way is A, B, C, D, let you go. F was actually a tool in case you don't have sockets or ratchet. It had a Allen key for those bolts up there, and then it also has a little wrench that you can use if you don't have wrenches. So it comes with pretty much everything that you need, except for the only thing that would be hard to do with that little bolt thing that it gave would be the lag bolt going in. I don't know that you'd be able to use those, but everything else comes equipped. I did a number on myself trying to make sure I didn't cut these wires when I was taking the plastic off and cut myself instead. I'll be careful. But yeah, these I'm just gonna go in and fasten in, so it's gonna clamp those down. I think there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. So 3 on each one, 3 on each side, so 6 of these total. Go ahead, put these on, tighten them down, and then attach everything. And we'll just get these on for now. Make sure everything's lined up, and then tighten them all down. Get those in there, tighten those down, and the platform will be done. All right, so They still aren't tightened down, but I'm gonna go ahead and get everything connected, and then we can make sure everything's lined up and then tighten everything down. So the last thing we need are washer and a nut for each corner. Go to each corner here. Got everything set up. Like I said, I just need to tighten all these bolts down. Then I'm going to get everything connected, make sure we got everything lined up first. Then just go through. There's these 3 bolt nuts to tighten down, and then the 4 along the ends where these keys are held in, and that's pretty much it. So let me go ahead and tighten all this down, and we'll see if it works. All right, now we got everything there. We just have to disconnect the safety. So this should just disengage, and now you can hook this wire here, and it shows you which way to turn clockwise to raise it and counterclockwise to lower it. You also have the handle here. I got this handle. And it looks like it's raising nice and even. So I said this will lift up to 300 pounds, and it's geared really, the gear on it, so it'll take a lot of turns. It'll take a lot of turns to get it to come up, but you won't feel the weight. So it doesn't feel like, uses the power of leverage, so it doesn't feel like you're lifting 300 pounds. However, that does mean it will take a long time for it to turn up or down. But if you have a power drill, you could just connect that and then lower it, or and there you see where the tie-offs are about to hit there, and they're about to hit there. So I mean, that's about as high as you can get it to go up. But if you're stacking stuff up on there, you obviously have to go as high as you can without crushing whatever you have on there. Yeah, as far as going up and down, it will take you a while, but you can do it by hand. If you have a drill, you can just connect your drill and do it that way. So you keep the black wires on the outside, silver wires on the inside, and it just works. So yeah, if you need to stack stuff up on there, you can lower it down, put whatever you want on, raise it back up. I'm curious if we can take the top off with it. So I'm going to clean up in here, back the Bronco up, and see if we can use it for that as well. All right, so I just lowered it down onto the top, put a moving blanket down, lowered it down on the top, threw the front pieces up on top, and then I just have a ratchet strap going over and ratcheting the top to the base of that. Got all the bolts out, so if everything works as I hope it will, we could just lift the top off of there. And there we go, we've got the top off. It's not spinning around. Now ideally, if you have a little bit of taller of a garage, it would work even better. The height that I have, I still have room I could back out or pull out and back in. You just got to be careful when I'm backing in to try to line it up. I'm going to go ahead and pull out so we can see. All right, so there we go. We've got a hardtop hoist. It is nice and sturdy on there. I said that wasn't originally the plan. I'm probably still going to go ahead and store some stuff up there. Right now I just got the tops up there just to see how that would work, which works out perfectly. If that's what you want, all you want to use it for is a Bronco top. But like I said, I'm trying to get my garage a little bit under control here as well. So I'm going to be able to store some stuff up there like I do on that one, but be able to lower it down, get easy access to everything, and then also have the ability to use it to hold the top up there, which is super awesome. And see, I tried using some different adhesives in here to kind of block that. I had a different video around that, so but yeah, now it's even easier to get access to look on the inside, troubleshoot any problems you have, and you can lower it down if you need to. It'll lower it all the way down to the ground, so if you wanted to take it off of there, you can. And like I said, it'll definitely store any equipment that you might have. I've been throwing a bunch of junk in the back of the trailer, which I still owe a video on that. I still have to finalize the lighting. As you can see, there's no lights or anything on the back, but I've been throwing, it's turned in from being my utility trailer to being my storage trailer. Yeah, hopefully I can get some stuff stowed away up there, get the garage cleaned up a little bit more. It is really hot out. I'm going to go ahead and leave the top off for a little bit, take the doors off. I still haven't had the doors off on this Bronco yet, and so I'm going to go ahead, get it completely naked while I got the top off, and go cruise around a little bit and come back and finish cleaning up the garage and hopefully storing some stuff up here. But yeah, definitely very happy with the FLEXIMOUNTS. This is the model G1, which is 4x4 ceiling grid, which is perfect, same size as the top. So that worked out perfectly. Like I said, it's not necessarily made as a hardtop hoist, but it definitely works as one, and definitely will work for garage storage. So thanks again to FLEXIMOUNT. I'll put a link down in the description to them. I know they're available on Amazon. They've got great reviews on Amazon. That's one of the things I looked at, which was why I was very happy to do this review, because it seemed like it was going to be good, and quite happy with it. But yeah, they're a US company making these. They're very sturdy, heavy duty. Like I said, you can lift, it's rated to up to 300 pounds. I have no doubt that it will carry that, hold that. Very sturdy, super convenient, you know, be able to just lower it down and access everything and then put it back up. So thanks to FLEXIMOUNTS. Be sure to check the description, a link in the description below, and I'll put one somewhere around here if I can. Check them out. Super convenient. Whether you have a Bronco that you're looking to be able to store the hardtop on, or you just trying to make some extra space in your garage and looking for a way to easily store things without having to climb on ladders and hurt yourself trying to get to them or access anything. Yeah, and once you Bronco's out, or even with the Bronco top on there, the GL1's still going to handle some of your bulkier, heavy items that you just want to store. You're not going to use, hopefully I'm not going to use my spare steering rack anytime soon. So some of these things I want to get out of my way. They're heavy. I don't feel like moving them around all the time. You just throw them on there. them up. And they're good. And then this handle also comes off easily, so it's not dangling down. I just stick that up there, and when we're ready to pull it down, hook it all up. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more videos like this again in the future, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.